Senator Evans.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Secretary President, and I say at the outset I appreciate the sincerity and the passion which Senator Xenophon brings to this issue, and I know it's genuine, and I know he seeks to represent people who've been damaged by their engagement with the Church of Scientology. I think, though, we've had difficulty in responding to Senator Xenophon's various motions on the subject, as he seeks, with his normal persistence, to get support for a proposition that effectively has the Senate inquire into the Church of Scientology. And he's packaged it in different ways, and today he stressed some of the legal issues and the consumer issues and other things that he would like to examine. But I think Senator Xenophon is honest enough to say that at the heart of this is an inquiry into the Church of Scientology and how they react and interact with their members. And I acknowledge that the concerns he raises are serious, and the evidence of persons that he referred to who've been in Parliament the last day or two, and others who've been in the media, is quite disturbing. And I suppose one would say, in response, though, of course, that we've seen this before. We had similar allegations about the operations of the exclusive brethren, and Senator Brown sought to have a similar type inquiry into the activities of the exclusive brethren. I'm happy to say that for once I can say with some confidence that we've been totally consistent on this matter, the government, because I've responded to the issues that Senator Brown raised in relation to the exclusive brethren in the same way that I do today to those raised by Senator Xenophon in relation to the Church of Scientology. I'm no fan of sects or religions that look to control their members. In fact, I'm passionately opposed to such activity, and being brutally frank, I'm not a great supporter of what I've seen of the operations of either the exclusive brethren or the Church of Scientology, but that's a personal opinion, and should be valued no more highly than anyone else's personal opinion about these organisations. But what I am strongly against is any suggestion that the Senate committee processes be used in a way that I don't think fits for the role of the Senate. And it's tempting to address some of these concerns in that way. But the role of the Senate is to inquire into issues of public policy and public administration. We do have to use our powers and capacity wisely, and it would be very easy for Senate committee processes to be brought into disrepute if people thought they were being used to achieve purposes beyond our role in terms of public policy and public administration. And I fundamentally have a concern about us saying we're going to have an inquiry into a particular organisation, because at various times a majority in this chamber will have a view about a particular organisation. At times there might have been a majority in this chamber to inquire into the Wilderness Society, concerns about its activities. There may have been a majority to inquire into the CFMEU, that particular trade union, and the way they operate. And it's very appealing for some. Senator Betts' eyebrows go up. He thinks that's got some merit because of his particular concerns about that unit. But I think fundamentally on this issue, Senator Betts has been consistent as well. And I'm worried because we actually agree on this matter, and it's very rare we do. But if you think it through, if you single out an organisation and say the Senate's going to inquire into them because we want to use that inquiry to air claims about that organisation, to allow people under parliamentary privilege to make claims about those organisations, not in a court, but to make very serious claims, as are made, referred to by Senator Xenophon, claims of criminal behaviour, and to have them tested by the Senate in a Senate hearing. Now, we're not a court of law. We don't have the protections and the processes that a court of law has. We're a group of senators who come together to inquire into issues of public policy and public interest. And I think it's a fundamentally dangerous step for us to say we're going to inquire into particular organisations and allow people to to make their claims in regard to those organisations. Not claims about policies, but claims about personal treatment and very fundamentally to the issue Senator Xenophon raises, claims about criminal behaviour. And I just think this is a step that the Senate ought to consider very carefully, and the government takes the view we ought not do that. As I say, we responded to the claims about the exclusive brethren in the same way. I would respond to claims about the Menzies Institute, the CFMEU, the Wilderness Society in the same way. It's a very dangerous thing for us to have what could be seen as a witch hunt against an individual organisation, be it a religion, a trade union, a community organisation or a company. And I don't think that's a step we ought to take. But I do regard the allegations made by Senator Xenophon and the former members of the Church very seriously, because they are allegations in large part about criminal behaviour. We have always argued that those matters ought to be referred to the police, that if people have issues that are of concern that involve alleged criminal behaviour, the police are the appropriate authorities to go to. Now, I understand that Senator Xenophon, when he received earlier issues regarding allegations of criminal behaviour, did take them to the federal police, I think, at the end of last year. And I understand that the AFP made a preliminary assessment of the allegations and advised Senator Xenophon that unless there was further evidence of a Commonwealth offence, the allegations he raised ought to be best brought to the attention of state police, which has been done, and that's the appropriate thing to do. So Senator Xenophon has sought today and in other debates to focus on some of the policy issues that are around these issues, but I think fundamentally it's about, can we have an inquiry into the Church of Scientology, can we bring forward witnesses who are concerned about their treatment, and can we air those claims? And as I say, it has some appeal, but I think there are some serious concerns that really need to be considered by the Senate before we go down that path. I am personally open to trying to assist Senator Xenophon find a way through on this. I think we have dealt with over the years in Australia real difficulties in tackling activities of sects or religion that perhaps have too much control over their members or are closed organisations. The claims about the exclusive brethren weren't the first. The Church of Scientology won't be the last. There have been a range of sects over the year where there's been concerns about the way they've related to their members and the way they've operated. And I think that is of public concern, and I think we do need to work out how we deal with those more properly. And Senator Xenophon refers to psychological issues and control and those things which are not easily dealt with by state laws or by state police departments. I think that's a fair point. So I think he identifies a serious public policy issue about how about how government authorities, police authorities, law enforcement authorities respond to those problems. But I'm not sure, well, I'm sure that in my view and the government's view, a Senate inquiry is not that way. A Senate inquiry into a particular organisation is not the way forward. I think we need to deal with these claims in a way that procedural fairness, respect for people's rights in terms of claims made against them, the ability to defend themselves adequately, protection against capricious or badly motivated claims, all those sorts of issues that I think we've got to take seriously are not, I think, addressed properly in the Senate inquiry process. So the government won't be supporting this particular proposal by Senator Xenophon.